Hello, everyone, and welcome to our podcast. This is JB.
And I'm Chandler, and this is the Unbiased Hard Take.
And on today's Unbiased Hard Take, it is over. The regular season has ended, and now we enter Super Wild Card Weekend. That was JB Steelers and my Packers. So, me and JB, both of our teams making the playoffs, so round of applause for that. Packers and Steelers had good seasons. Good to see. Definitely some bumps in the road for both of our teams. But hey, we're in the 7th seed. Both of us are underdogs, so we'll see what we can do. But with that, me and JB are going to wrap up the last week of the season real quick here. JB, what's one last recap from the regular season that you want to talk about before we enter the world of the playoffs?
Well,
Playoffs?
playoffs? What are you talking about? Playoffs?
Yes, sir. We made it.
Uh, well, there's quite a few. Really, literally quite a few.
Yes.
But the one thing that actually kind of caught my eye was Houston, Texas, and the Indianapolis Colts game. With Houston scoring 23, Indianapolis 19, and they bumped off the Indianapolis Colts. And the Colts have been eliminated for the playoff spot. And there's quite a few of the plays that really kind of crossed my mind. That last ball that Minshew threw should have been caught. But what can you say? I mean, I want to say it's not his fault. Probably should have, thrown the ball a little bit more. Minshew should have thrown the ball a little bit better because Minshew did not light it up like we all thought we all thought he was going to. He only went 13 for 24 and only 141 yards. That's kind of sad, honestly. I mean, the only thing that actually was doing good for Indy was Jonathan Taylor, excuse me. Because he had 30 carries, 188 rushing yards, and 1 touchdown. But CJ Stroud coming off with an amazing rookie season so far, and he's gonna hopefully he's gonna do it again in the playoffs. He went 20 for 26, 264 yards, and 2 touchdowns. So through all that, he was lining them up left and right. And Singletary also rushed one in for 24 carries, 63 yards. Dang, excuse me. And 1 touchdown. But everyone's saying that there's quite a few people that it was their fault. They should have done anything else. It's like, honestly, you guys' part. You guys had one heck of a season. You went 9-8. That's not terrible. It's still a winning record. So, I mean, you guys fought through the end. So, I mean, it was a good. Yep, and that was with
injuries.
And that was with injuries. So, but you guys are not the Pittsburgh Steelers because we had a lot more injuries than what you guys did. And guess what? We're still in the playoffs. But anyways, but yeah. But like I said, you guys had a good year. Gardner Minshew is one of the best backup quarterbacks in the league by far. He put you guys through this through all of this. So, all props to him and everything else. So, good job, Colts. You fought through at the end, especially at the last second. So, but yeah.
Yeah, and to kind of add to your thing, I mean, you look Gardner Minshew. We've said it all year long. He's the best backup quarterback in the league. You get the Colts finishing. I mean, Jonathan Taylor's been injured at some point and kind of had off the field issues. Zach Moss has been hurt, and obviously Anthony Richardson being hurt, their quarterback of the future. That doesn't bode well for a season. And for them to still fight through, I mean, if they beat Houston that last game of the season, we're having a different conversation right now because the Colts would have won the division. So they were right to the very tail end with the backup. I think Anthony, dude, we talked about that pre-draft coverage, and he showed a lot of moments with the Colts. So long as Richardson can stay healthy, the Colts have a good future.
Yep.
But we will get into the Texans here momentarily after I parade about the Miami Dolphins because I'm proud of myself. This summer, before the season started, I am quoted. You remember this when I said Miami will start great. They
Hmm.
will. It'll be warm weather. They'll do great. They'll make the playoffs. They'll be a wild card. But when the weather starts getting a little colder, December comes around. Now you have to go to New England. Now you have to go to New York. The Dolphins just don't play as well. They just don't. They're a softer football team. They're finesse. They are. They're not a tough nose and environment. You think they're going to go to Kansas City this weekend and win? It's supposed to be, rumor said it is the coldest game in NFL history. Now Miami has to go do that. I
Hmm.
said that they would falter in the playoffs because it's cold, and here we are, them getting ready to play one of the coldest games in NFL history because they blew it against Buffalo. Tua, who led the league in passing yards, which is great. Tua, love my left-hand quarterback. I
Good
do
job.
it. I
Good job.
do. But when it comes to the late season and playoffs, with a chance to division in Miami, Tua had 17 for 27, 173 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. The Miami Dolphins scored 14 points. It's not good enough. It's not good enough. You couldn't finish then. Good luck in Kansas City. We'll get into that later. However, me and JB have just now wrapped up the regular season. And with us wrapping up the regular season, that means the DoorDash competition is complete. And I'm smiling because JB had a good run, made me sweat, had a winning record himself. JB had it with a really good season, so clap 165, 107. Good season for JB. Very good record. However, your boy with a slightly better record, it truly was until the end. I am 173 and 99. So, 8-game difference over 250 games played. Good job, my friend. You made me sweat it out. But I will be getting the free DoorDash this season. Maybe JB will do better next season.
Let's hope so.
That's right. So, again, keep keep an eye out on our Facebook because I'll be posting that receipt at some point. So just keep an eye out for all of that. However, now me and JB are going to move over to the world of the playoffs.
Playoffs.
That's right. We're going to talk about playoffs. So with that, we're going to predict the playoffs as we have the regular season. There is no current bet line on this, I suppose, other than Pride, unless we change that. So we're still going to do it for Pride. So with that, JB, we got some games this week.
We do.
Who you got? Saturday, first game, Cleveland. The Cleveland Browns travel to Houston, the Houston Texans. Houston was the division winner. That is why they get the game at home. Who you got?
Well,
Now things get interesting and hard.
things are going to get interesting and very hard indeed. Both teams offensively, they're both really good. I'll say that. I mean, I'm being basically, it's just going to come down to defense. Who has the best defense? Who can get the stops? I mean, Joe Flacco has been lighting it up ever since he came on. But I mean, CJ Stroud, man. I mean,
He's got
he's-
Houston on the map, man.
he does.
Not wild card. They won the division.
Yep.
They won the freaking division. With a rookie quarterback and a rookie defensive head coach. I love it. Because me and you have always kind of, I wouldn't say secretly rooted for Houston, but, just kind of wishing the best from afar. Kind of
Mhm.
hope you do well. Remember when they were new to the league? It was kind of interesting. We were kids. It was fun. I remember playing them on Madden. We loved doing it. So I have some good memories with Houston. So
Yep.
hopefully they can get some stuff done. Who you got?
You know what? I'm picking the Texans. I am picking the underdogs. I am picking I am picking the Texans. That's what my heart says and my mind. So I am going with the Houston Texans just because CJ Stroud is pushing them forward. He has one of the best seasons as a rookie quarterback that we ever seen in a while, with almost, well, I'm gonna say over 4,000 yards passing as a rookie. I don't know if you haven't seen any like that before, with 23 touchdowns and only 5 interceptions in the season. Who else can say that they did better than him? No one. So, and then I'm also looking at the injury report for the Cleveland Browns. Mike Ford, Denzel Ward, Juwan Thornhill, and Grant Delpit. He is on IR. And Pierre Strong Jr. is, everyone else is on questionable except for Grant Delpit. He is on IR. And then you got, I'm looking at the Houston Texans, is basically just everyone else is all questionable. Sheldon Rankins, Malik Collins, Jonathan Greenard. Yeah, we'll say Greenard. Will Anderson Jr. and Noah Brown are all questionable. So, and with everything else, like I said, Houston's young. They have a rookie coach, and that team's fired up. It's been pumped up ever since the beginning of the season. And Cleveland Brown has always been, god awful. But for once, they had one better game than the Pittsburgh Steelers. Good job, congratulations, you won that part of everything. But with that, everything else being said, I'm picking the Houston, even though they got a veteran quarterback in the Cleveland with Joe Flacco. He is a Super Bowl champion. He knows how to get him there, but they ain't gonna help him. I think that I always said it during the beginning of the season. Houston Texans has a horrible defense, but you know what? They stopped a lot of things that happened, and that's why their record is 10-7. So, and I greatly apologize to the Houston Texans and their fan base and the organization that I said your defense sucks, because you guys dogged it out. So, good job.
I think JB's picking Houston. I think my little speech before all this kind of inspired him, maybe.
Maybe.
I got you feeling good. I got your
Maybe.
blood juice. I got your blood flowing.
It's always juicing. It's always juicing.
I hear everything you just said. I do. CJ Stroud's Rookie of the Year. He has 108 QBR right now for the whole season. He's going to be the Rookie of the Year. If he's not,
No question
it would
about
be
it.
the all-time scam. There's no question about it. He's the Rookie of the Year. They won the division. DeMeco Ryans isn't an offensive coach. He's a defensive coach. So he did this with a young team. He did this with a rookie head coach, DeMeco Ryans. However, I am going to pick Cleveland here. History does not bode well for rookie quarterbacks in the playoffs. Cleveland, in my opinion, they're just more experienced. Their coach is more experienced. Joe Flacco's been there before. Like you said, he knows how to lead them. And, you look at Joe Flacco for the season, he's been outstanding. 13 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, 90.2 QBR, 1,616 yards. And that's with him only playing 5 games. He had at least 2 touchdowns in every game. He had a couple interceptions. He was throwing a lot of picks. But he's leading them to victories. He got right off the couch. Literally got off the couch and just started playing football for the Browns. And now they're in the wild card here. They've been there before. History does not bode well for young teams. I hope Houston wins. I think that would be really awesome. We've kind of wished the best from afar from them for a long time because they're an interesting team. I think they're cool. So I hope they win, but I think Cleveland wins here. They're just more experienced. Give me the dog pound. All right.
Right.
So we'll watch that one real interestingly. So with that, me and JB are going to move to what is supposed to be the coldest game in NFL history. It's supposed to be a negative wind chill in Kansas City. Who do you got? The Miami Dolphins, the warm weather Finns, or the Kansas City Chiefs?
Oh, this one is going to
Not my
be
point.
a little bit tougher because even though it's going to be cold, in the Kansas City, honestly, to me, they don't look like 11-6 team. They don't. They do not look like an 11-6 team. With Patrick Mahomes looking not his greatest. I'll say not. He's not throughout the years. This is probably one of his worst seasons ever.
It is
Because
statistically, especially. I mean,
yeah, because I mean you got receivers dropping passes left and right. Um, I mean it's just it sucks. I mean it sucks for Patrick Mahomes, but I mean him and his defense and Travis Kelsey probably also having one of his worst careers right now with only 984 yards and 5 touchdowns and 93 catches. Um
yes, his 1,000-yard season streak came to an end.
yep. So I mean it kind of sucked to see that the Kansas City struggling through the season, but I still don't know how that they have a 11-6 season. Um
That defense, they're playing with defense right now.
yeah, I mean that defense is what they're holding on to. But
It's the second best. It's the second best total defense in the league. For the whole season, it was the second ranked defense. That's how they're winning football games.
yep, I mean yeah, defense wins championships, but I don't know
Yes,
how
sir, it
good
does.
I don't know how good it's going to be with Tyreek Hill because he was 1 yard away from an 1,800 yards game. 1 yard, just 1 yard. You couldn't fight for one more yard. Come on, man. But I mean, Tyreek Hill, I do believe it's going to be, but I do believe it's going to be a ground and pound game. There's not going to be a lot of passing. I'll be surprised if there's going to be a lot of passing. But I'm going to pick Kansas City because they got a better run game and they can stop the run a lot better than what the Miami Dolphins can. So, with that being said, give me Kansas City.
We're on the same page here. I mean, you look, Kansas City has the second best ranked defense in the National Football League. Only total defense. That's for the season. I know the Ravens took home the Triple Crown and stuff like that, but total rated defense. The Chiefs are second in the league. So you take that on top of the Miami Dolphins. Yes, they have the highest rated offense in the league. They do. It's number one. I'm looking right at it. So the
Mm-hmm.
best rated offense against the second best defense. You look at that. This game is supposed to be -5 degrees. This game is in Arrowhead because Miami, as I predicted, blew it, as they always do, and lost the final game of the season, and they led the division all year long. But now, because they screwed the last game up against Buffalo, they have to go to Kansas City. And it's supposed to be -5 degrees. Kansas City's going to win this game. This will be a ground and pound game. I expect Pat Mahomes, their offense to look the same. You can't just go like this and everything change. Their
Mm-hmm.
offense will remain what it is. They'll go out there and have a couple good drives. But Miami, with how good their offense is rated, should beat them. The problem is it'll be cold. Tua, yes, he leads the league in passing yards. Congratulations, that's a big deal. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
But in cold weather games, no, they never do. And here's no different. It's no different. I'm sticking with my August prediction. They're going to lose their first playoff game. Give me Kansas City. Sorry, Dolphins fans. I told you all this in August.
We did.
But we did. It always happens. I'm sorry. But we're going to move on to JB's favorite topic this week. Who do you have, JB? The playoff Pittsburgh Steelers or the Buffalo Bills. This is in Buffalo because Buffalo won the division. Pittsburgh is the number 7 seed in the playoffs as the wild card.
Well, we all know I'm going to pick the Pittsburgh Steelers because, I mean, yes, even though the statistics, I cannot talk today. Ugh. Everyone is saying it's going to be Buffalo, 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 Buffalo. No, it is not.
Buffalo!
It is not going to be Buffalo, and I'll tell you why. Josh Allen,
Oh.
okay, and the Buffalo Bills offense in general has been going downhill for a while. Stephon Diggs barely been noticed. You got Gabe Davis. He is injured. I mean, even though it says he's questionable, but... And then Rasul Douglas, Dawson Knox, Tyler
I
Rapp.
can't believe we traded him. Oh.
It's okay.
Oh, it burns my soul. It burns my soul.
But I still believe that my Pittsburgh Steelers is going to win, even though TJ Watt is out, and we are expecting him to come in on January 20th through that MCL sprain. But I mean, with everything else, he has the most sacks in the NFL, and I swear, if he does not get the Defensive Player of the Year, I'd be livid. I would be livid. Everyone's saying it's going to be Myles Garrett. What had he done? What has he done? What has Myles Garrett done? If you looked at all the stats from Myles Garrett, TJ Watt has beat him every category, everything. Has Myles Garrett got an interception? No, he hasn't. Has he let me see. Did he get a touchdown? No, he hasn't. How many forced fumbles did Myles Garrett have? Don't know.
I have no idea.
I really,
in front of me.
and honestly, I really don't care because Myles Garrett sucks compared to TJ Watt. Myles Garrett will never fill TJ Watt's shoes. Never. Not in a million years.
I mean, TJ Watt is a sack leader, so you're definitely correct.
So yeah. No. Even when he was injured, because he was injured, like a week, and yet he's still the best defensive player in the NFL. So, anyways, back to the Buffalo and Steelers game.
You were talking Steelers. You were going on a TJ Watt rant.
Yeah.
I mean, TJ Watt did have more tackles and more. I mean, I do have that in front of me. He does have more tackles and sacks for the season, so he's definitely had a better season. They're both in the playoffs, so it's translating to team success. So both of them have that. Myles Garrett's a very good defender, but TJ Watt is the defensive player of the year.
100%
Myles
better.
Garrett is second.
100%
Myles
better.
Garrett.
Anyways, but Mason Rudolph is going to be the starting quarterback for this game. Najee Harris, once again, over 1,000 yards a season. But for me, I'm going to pick the Pittsburgh Steelers. Just because the Buffalo Bills, I do believe they are the number 1 team in turnovers this season. I think.
So I think the Ravens took that. They were the Triple Crown.
Oh, they might be second. Anyways, but yeah, I'm picking the Pittsburgh Steelers regardless.
Oh, I'm proud of you because it's playoff time. You're sticking with your Steelers. You have a chance to compete for a championship, and all those things are true. The Steelers have a chance to compete for a Super Bowl during the playoffs. More than half of the league's eliminated right now, and the Steelers are not one of them. So they have a very good chance. Mike Tomlin has never had a losing season. He has the Steelers back in the playoffs again, and the Steelers are known for postseason success and having appearances in the playoffs because they're the Steel Curtain. They're a legendary team. I hear you. I hear you, but I'm picking Buffalo here, man. I mean, you look, Josh Allen for the season, 29 total pass touchdowns, and he had 15 rush touchdowns. He led the NFL in touchdowns. Yes, they turn the ball over a lot, but Pittsburgh's defense is only 21st in the NFL, and Pittsburgh has a worse rated offense for the whole season than the Washington Commanders. So, the Steelers are a grinded out team. The problem is, Buffalo won in Miami. And now this game's also in Buffalo. Josh Allen's going to make plays. I worry about Mason Rudolph's ability to keep up with Josh Allen. This isn't the Troy Polamalu defense, unfortunately, because now TJ Watt will not play. I worry about that. I think if TJ Watt was playing, it'd be a different story. But now, Alex Highsmith, who's an outstanding pass rusher in himself, I mean, they're the best duo in the league. But without TJ Watt, and with Mason Rudolph. This is in Buffalo. Sorry, man, but I'm taking Buffalo.
Nah.
Give me the Bills.
And we got Nick Herbig as the backup for TJ Watt. Yes, he has massive shoes to fill, and I do believe that rookie is going to cause havoc. So, and then Mika Fitzpatrick is back full healthy.
It's true.
And Kazi's back. Everyone's saying he's a dirty player. But you know what? No, he is not a dirty player. He's just bringing back old football. Kidding me?
And you know, I will say this about the Steelers. I will end on this note. Pittsburgh has a puncher's chance. I will get into the next prediction here soon and talk a little bit about that. They have a puncher's chance. So when I say that, I don't think they're going to win. I think they have a chance to go out there and really surprise some people, but I think it's just a puncher's chance. Yeah, give me Buffalo. But I do think the Steelers have a chance. I don't think it's going to be an ass kicking. I don't. I think Pittsburgh will keep it close. I think they will compete better than some people think. But still, give me Buffalo. So I'll end on that positive note. Kind of dogged on them hard. So with that, now we're going to get into my favorite topic this week. Because as JB Steelers made the playoffs, so did my Packers, as we predicted on this podcast. And you predicted the Steelers in the playoffs too. I did not. So congratulations to JB on that. So with that, you got this week the Green Bay Packers, your number 7 seed wild card, at the Dallas Cowboys, who are the 2nd seed in the NFC.
Both teams are electrifying, and the Dallas Cowboys always has that reputation of losing the first round of the playoffs. But you got Joe Barry as the defensive coordinator facing Dak Prescott's offense, facing CeeDee Lamb, Tony Pollard, like I said, Dak Prescott. You got all of them. I'm sorry. It's your defense. It's your defense. I mean, just wait. You're probably going to put the slowest person on defense guarding CeeDee Lamb. I bet you money that's probably what's going to happen.
It'll be Preston Smith.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be Preston Smith guarding CeeDee Lamb, and Dak Prescott's going to see is like, I'm going to put him at a streak. And guess what? It's going to be a ball, and it's going to be humiliating to seeing Joe Barry trying to face the and also the ex head coach of the Green Bay Packers, Mike McCarthy.
It is. It's a first time in the playoffs.
But And then also, the Dallas Cowboys has one of the best defenses in the NFC. One of them.
Number 5,
I'm
the
sorry,
5th best defense in the league. Dallas does.
and I'm sorry. There are times where your Packers have a struggle time to move the ball. There are times, and you guys' defense, your defensive coordinator, is horrible.
Yes, he is. He's horrible.
I'm sorry. I'm going with the Dallas Cowboys, just because they are first time in Dallas Cowboys history in quite a while. They're actually going to win the first game of the playoffs. So I'm sorry, but I'm going with the Cowboys.
And I'm gonna start this way. Common sensely, it makes a lot of sense. I mean, you look, Green Bay has the 17th rated defense, a worse defense rated than the Titans. You look, Dallas has the 5th best rated defense. Joe Barry's abysmal. My only fear is us making the playoffs somehow save Joe Barry's job. I hope that's not the case because he needs to go. He needs to go. We made the playoffs, but we made the playoffs despite Joe Barry.
It's your
But
offense that
you look,
carried you guys to the playoffs, not your defense.
yes, sir, it is because you look. Jordan Love is the second, right behind Dak Prescott in the NFC in touchdown passes. So this is the first time in playoff history that the top 2 conference passing touchdown leaders will face off in the playoffs. Jordan Love, he's had an outstanding season. He should be a Pro Bowl quarterback. And had a better season in his first season than the Chicago Bears have ever had all time. And he just beat the Bears to enter the playoffs. He had over 4,000 passing yards. He had over 30 total touchdowns. He really cut down the turnovers at the end as well. So, I mean, you look what he was able to do, beat the Bears to get in the playoffs. Aaron Rodgers could not beat the Lions last year to get into the playoffs. So we've actually exceeded what we were with Aaron his last season with us. You look, no one thinks the Packers have a chance. We're playing with house money right now. No one thought we would be here. No one did. No, you looked after we lost to the Raiders. No one, we thought it was over. Everyone thought our season was over. And then somehow at the end we pulled through. Jordan Love, he deserves the money. He's whatever he requests. He's the franchise dude. He is him. We have some really young playmakers. The Packers are 9-1 in the last 10 meetings against the Cowboys. One being the Matt Flynn game. Flynn. So you look, I'm picking the Packers here. I'm going with my heart. I scribbled out Dallas. I did. You picking Pittsburgh inspired me. So I am picking Green Bay. I can't bet against my Packers. We've been doubters all year long. No one thought we'd be here. We've beaten Dallas 9 of the last 10 times, including with Matt Flynn. So yeah, give me Green Bay. History always repeats itself. Give me the Pack. We're moving on.
All right. Gotta love
And
the
spitting some facts.
hypes. Picking up the hype.
Gotta love it. And I back it with numbers. Beat them 9 of the last 10. I'll be 10 of the last 11 after Sunday. You inspired me. I had to pick Green Bay here. I can't. I can't end this season on a bad note if we lose. There's no pressure. No pressure. Do you think it'll be an ass kicking?
No, I don't think it's going to be. I don't think it's going to be. Um, I think it's going to be either one, probably down by 2 possessions. Um, either way, it's either way. But I do believe Dallas is going to come up with the victory with the 2 possession lead.
Okay. 2 possession lead, so a good victory by Dallas, but not an ass kicking.
Down by
I'm
10.
going
I
Packers
want
by
to probably say down by, or going to be winning by 10.
I'm gonna go Packers by 3. I think it goes to overtime, and we win the coin toss, and Jordan Love goes down the field. I do.
Oh,
Kick a field goal, we'll get a stop somehow because the Cowboys always choke. That's my prediction. Packers by 3 in overtime. All right, we will see. We will see how our Steelers and Packers fare. We're gonna move on. We have a big game here because the Matthew Stafford returns to Detroit for a playoff matchup. Who do you have? The Matthew Stafford and the Rams at the Detroit Lions.
Well, both quarterbacks are facing their previous teams, but
Jared Goff kind of talked about it a little bit.
yep, and he says he's saying he doesn't have extra motivation against the Rams. So, but if we look at it, Jared Goff had a lot better season than what Matthew Stafford has.
I would agree with that.
Matthew Stafford, he went 326 out of 521, 3,965 yards, 24 touchdowns, and 11 interceptions. Jared Goff, on the other hand, 407 to 605, 4,575 passing yards, 30 touchdowns, and only 12 interceptions. And I mean, both teams are actually looking really good. Puka Nakua, he's had an amazing rookie year. I mean, he's right. I'm gonna say is it him and CJ Stroud are gonna be probably fighting for the offensive rookie of the year because Puka broke the
Yeah.
rookie receiving record for the receiver. Broke the yardage, and CJ Stroud had probably one of the best rookie performance in the whole entire season as a rookie quarterback ever. But Jared Goff and the Detroit Lions, they are looking amazing. Even though Sam Laporta is also questionable, and James Mitchell is also, all these guys are going to be questionable. James Mitchell, Sam Laporta, Jerry Jacobs, and Khalif Raymond are all questionable. And the same goes for the Los Angeles Rams: Tyler Higbee, Jordan Fuller, Kevin Dotson, Joe Noteboom, and Troy Reader are all questionable. So everyone's saying that hopefully everyone's going to be coming back healthy. Especially Sam Laporta is probably part of the Jared Goff, and Sam Laporta has also had an amazing rookie season.
But he's injured.
But he is injured right now. But he said he's questionable and he's ready. It's a game time decision at this moment for him. But I'm picking the Detroit Lions. It's just Jared Goff and that defense, and Dan Campbell as their coach. He's fired up. Everything is going right for the Detroit Lions. And when I mean everything's going right for them. So give me the Detroit Lions.
I hear you. I do. I had Detroit last night when I was doing this, looking up research, kind of fact checking myself, stuff like that. I looked at this game and I initially thought Detroit would win. But the more I looked and the more research I did, I think the Rams are going to win this game. You look, I have picked against the Rams all season long, and yet here we are. Matthew Stafford, who's been there before, recently actually, a couple years ago, he was just hoisting the Lombardi. And yes, Stafford hasn't had as good season as Jared Goff, but you look, Matt Stafford, 24 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, 92.5 QBR. He has the Rams in the playoffs, and he missed a couple of games with injury too. So you look, I think the Rams win this game. Cooper Kupp's making some plays. His stats aren't as good as they have been because of injury himself and whatnot. It takes away a little bit of that. But then they have Puka, who broke rookie records for a receiver. So you look, I don't think Detroit's defense is actually good enough to stop their offense. And you look, Sam Laporta, Dan Campbell said, quote, "It's not good news." And they said likely miss some time is what I seen on a report. So you look, I don't think Laporta's going to play. The Rams have an outstanding offense. Sean McVay deserves props. He should be a Coach of the Year candidate. So you look, I think the Rams win this game. I think in the playoffs, It never goes as planned. You got to look at these games a little hard. I think the NFC is a little weirder than the AFC is. I mean, Jordan Love and the Packers are in, the Rams are in, Tampa Bay's in. It's a weirder conference. I think the AFC teams are a little more dominant than the NFC teams are, and that will show. Because if the Packers at 9 wins, 8 losses were in the AFC, they would have missed the playoffs. It's just a harder conference.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think a lot of the upsets this year will come from the NFC. Give me the Rams. Matt Stafford revenge game.
And we don't forget Jared Goff did also go to the Super Bowl. So
I mean, yeah, Jared Goff has the Lions in a home playoff game. Not just a playoff game, but a home playoff game. How long has it been for Detroit since they've won the division? They've never won the NFC North.
No.
Never happened. And it finally happened. So Dan Campbell deserves an extension. I think the Lions are a good team. I do. But they're not ready yet. It's been 32 years since they've won a playoff game. Until I see it, I won't believe it. Give me the Rams. It's the Lions. They always figure out some way to lose it.
I mean, they haven't lost it all season.
No, but it's time. We're going to move on to the only Monday night game this year. This will be a special Eli Peyton Manning cast, which I love watching that, so that'll be interesting, a fun playoff game for me to watch. Who you got? The Philadelphia Eagles really crippling into the playoffs here. At the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, this is time. Playoff Baker. He's going to take him to the Super Bowl. He's going to win the whole thing. MVP. Who you got? We can still say that, and it's playoff time.
Well, right now, both quarterbacks for the Buccaneers and the Philadelphia Eagles are questionable. But I mean, if you're looking at stat wise, you knew had a better record or you had a better season.
The Eagles.
No, I'm talking about quarterbacks right now. You knew who had a better.
Oh, okay. I'm following you.
I know talking about total touchdowns, but passing wise, who has done better? Baker or Jalen Hurts?
Oh, it was Baker.
Oh yeah, by far. Baker Mayfield has been dotting everything. Probably one of the best seasons that he had since that injury. And he has put the Tampa Bay on a map, even though everyone is saying that he should be off the team, this and that, blah 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 blah. I mean, if you're looking at the passing stats, he did a lot better than Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, passing wise, I would agree with that.
Passing wise, yes, but if you're talking about total touchdowns and everything, I mean, Jalen Hurts, I mean, he's a scrambling quarterback. I mean, I want to say he's like not a fast person, but I mean, with everything
he's a
else,
scrambling quarterback.
He's a scrambler, but he's not. Is he quick? I mean, I know he's quick, but he's probably doesn't got the wheels on him. Not like Lamar or anybody
bigger,
else.
But he has burst.
Yep.
He has burst. That's his thing.
But I mean, with all those total touchdowns and everything, Jalen Hurts had a better year. But passing wise,
15 rush touchdowns. That breaks the league record.
Mm-hmm.
And 605 rushing yards on top of his 3,858. That's over 4,000 yards for the season.
Yep.
So,
but
I'm more of a that guy, but I see what you're saying. As a pure passer, I see what you're saying. I do.
But I'm going to say this, though. Jalen Hurts, he's been looking horrible.
At times, Philadelphia is really limping.
He has been horrible. Like the Dallas game, Seahawks game. I mean, he looked good against the New York Giants game, the first game. I mean, he passed for 301 yards and 1 touchdown and 1 interception. Arizona game, I guess he did throw 3 touchdowns. Only 167 yards, 18 for 23. And 1 interception. But I mean, with everything else, I mean, also with the New York Giants game, that's the game when he got injured. 7 for 16, even though everyone should have been sorry, everyone should have been rested. I mean, you got players injured right now because you guys didn't rest because you guys wanted to prove a point. I mean, you guys already clinched. Just rest your players.
Well, they were who? Philly?
Yeah.
Well, they were playing for the division still. They could have beaten the Giants, and then Dallas lost to the Commanders, and Philly would have been the division champions. They were probably playing for that. You see what I'm saying?
It's Washington.
Take command.
But no, everyone got injured. Everyone's expecting, oh, the Washington's going to beat the Cowboys, and we're going to beat the Giants. Really? No. So now look what you guys did. Just look at what you guys did. You guys did nothing. You lost to the Giants, out of all people. Tyrod Taylor was the quarterback. 27-10. And Marcus Mariota also looked horrible too that game.
Yeah.
But Jalen Hurts, he has not been looking like himself lately. So, and that offense has been, I want to say they're not struggling, but they're on this speed bump right now. But yeah, AJ Brown's hurt. Jalen Hurts is hurt. And it's looking bad for him right now. In the last 5 games of the regular season, they only won 1 game, and that was against the New York Giants. And then you look at the Buccaneers, they only lost 1, and that was the New Orleans Saints game. But even though they should have done a lot better than against 9 points against Carolina. So
Oh yeah, that was an ugly win, but
that was a horrible, ugly win. No one moved the ball or anything, but
no. Had they lost that game, they'd have missed the playoffs.
Yep.
So I mean, that is literally the definition of a win is a win.
Yeah. It is win is a win at that point. But am I gonna pick the underdogs? No, I'm not. The Eagles have wait, no, actually. I mean, if we're thinking about it, the Eagles defense is looking horrible now.
Yeah, it's
a tragic. It's literally a tragedy right now. You know what? Screw it. I'm going Tampa Bay. I'm going Tampa Bay on this game. But I do believe that it can go either way at this point. It literally can go either way. But I do believe Baker Mayfield is going to drive them forward. And they're going to win.
That's what I'm, because I am on the same page as you here, because I'm going all underdogs in the NFC. There's 6 games. I think 3 are going to go kind of weird. It's the wild card weekend. The NFC's kind of wonky. You know what I'm saying? I got Tampa Bay here, and because Philadelphia started this season as the best team in the league. They really did.
Mm-hmm.
And they faltered. Not only have they faltered, they have won 1 game since November 26th. That was when they beat the Bills. 1. They've lost 5 of their last 6 games. And let's not act like, I mean, they lost to great teams. I kind of defended them a little bit, but I'm jumping off board. They lost to the Giants. They lost to the Seahawks. They lost to the Cardinals. All 3 of those teams missed the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
That's not good. They're limping here. They don't look like they want to play. They weren't playing hard in that Giants game. It was kind of sad. It truly was. I don't know what the deal is in Philly right now. Tampa Bay, Baker Mayfield, Tom Brady Jr. I think it's going to go on. I mean, yeah, it was 9-0, but they won the game. That's more than Philadelphia can say as of recent. Give me Tampa Bay. They seem to find a way to do it. I think Philadelphia blows it.
Mm-hmm. I do agree.
Ah, yes. Me and JB kept up. NFC Wildcard Weekend. Woohoo! So we'll see how our picks fare. So with that, me and JB are going to kind of expand the subtopics here a little bit because there's not as many games to predict, and we're going to start changing our format a little bit. Don't think we ain't watching the other sports too. So with that, JB, we're going to jump into the world of college football here because you look here, the Michigan defeat Washington 34-13 in the national championship game. JB, what's your reaction to Michigan getting the dub as I predicted? I think you had Alabama this year. What's your
Yep.
reaction to getting the win and getting the win convincingly? They forced multiple turnovers from Michael Penix Jr. What are your thoughts on the national championship, my friend?
Good job. Very proud of you. Even though you guys
JB
are
hates Michigan.
literally the most annoying college fan base known to man. You guys think are great in basketball, football, baseball, you name it. It's like you guys are the best. Like, good job. You went 15-0. You went number 1. And congratulations. You have won the national championship since 1997. You know, good job. Good job. Very proud of you. Even though you guys are mostly, like I said, most annoying fan base. Every year. Every year. Most annoying. If you're not from Michigan and you're a fan of Michigan, I'm sorry. That's the thing that's most annoys the crap out of me. If you're not from Michigan, born in Michigan, born and raised in anywhere in Michigan, and you're a fan, just go away. It's almost like the Cowboys. It's almost like the Cowboys fan base of college. It's congratulations, good job. I mean that's all I gotta say. Even though, yeah, good job.
And I know you mean that because it takes a lot for you. You've always hated Michigan, even
And I always
early
will.
years. No.
I always will.
Yeah, so I'm gonna give JB some props here. He's giving him credit, but I do not hate Michigan. I'm mutual. I really don't care. Jim Harbaugh has absolutely proven he's an NFL coach. Move on to the NFL. I don't think there's any doubt about it. He won a championship in college.
Good job.
Now come do it in the big boy. Now come do it in the big league. Come do it with the big boys. Come do it in the NFL now. Yeah, you've gotten close a few times. I'll give you that. Okay, cool. You made it to the Super Bowl, but you didn't win. I want to see you come and do it now in the NFL. He's developed the run game because Corum had 134 yards, 2 touchdowns. Edwards 104 yards, 2 touchdowns. JJ McCarty only had 140 yards, 10 on 18, no touchdowns, no turnovers. So McCarty was a game manager. They ran the ball. What's that mean? They bullied him up front.
The
They're just a
trenches.
better team.
They went
The
into
trenches.
trenches.
Every game this year, they've done that to teams. They've won every game that way. They were just truly, in my opinion, a little bit better than everybody else all year long. I think that says a lot on Harbaugh. I'm not a Harbaugh fan, but I think he's definitely going to move on to the NFL. And here's what would impress me. Michael Penix Jr., who's supposed to be this next best thing, a first-round quarterback. Two interceptions, 1 touchdown, 13 points in the national title game. Harbaugh did that. That's impressive. Congratulations, Michigan. I mean, you won every game. I have nothing bad to say. You guys,
Even though you guys cheated, still went undefeated. Good job. Proud of you.
and they did cheat. I mean, it's a fact. Harbaugh was suspended for it. But I mean, I gotta give credit where credit is due. They played better than everyone else.
Just like the Patriots. Good job.
All right. Yeah, I was getting ready to say that, just like the Patriots always did too. So with that, JB, we're going to move back to the NFL a little bit, stay in a little football here. JB, there's been we call it Black Monday in the NFL, where a lot of head coaches get fired. Bill Belichick, that was part of the way with today. The Titans have a head coaching opportunity. Mike Vrabel was fired. The Panthers obviously fired Frank Reich during the season. The Falcons fired Arthur Smith on Black Monday. The Seahawks and Pete Carroll reached a agreement to restructure his role. He will no longer be coach. The Raiders have an opening still, technically, because of Pierce. The Chargers also, the Commanders fired Ron Rivera. Maybe, what's your thoughts on the NFL coaching changes right now, and what job do you think is most appealing as for a coach? What job would you kind of go, ooh, that's a good job to have? Maybe, what's your thoughts?
I'm gonna say, even though Mike Vrabel, Pittsburgh legend,
Yes.
I do believe he could possibly be a good offensive coordinator right now.
He's a defensive guy, though.
I know, but he's a defensive player. Eh,
He's a defensive coach. You see what I'm saying? He might be a good
eh,
defensive coordinator somewhere.
I say you come back to the Steelers, be a linebackers coach, and just work with the greatest coach of all, one of the greatest coaches of all time, Mike Tomlin, which everyone's saying is that he should leave, get fired, leave, whatever. No, he's fine where he's at.
Yes.
But come back to Pittsburgh. We got room. We got plenty of room for it with you. But for the team wise that is looking good, I mean, I think Antonio Pierce is going to get the head coaching job. I mean, I don't think the Patriots or Bill Belichick is not looking for a I don't want to say he's not looking for a coaching job yet. I think he just wants to relax, chill, and not think about football for once. But I mean, if we were looking at all the teams, who has the better chance to be great? And I do believe it's the Los Angeles Chargers.
Yeah, because of Herbert. I mean, I
I
think he's
mean, you got
overrated, but yeah.
he's overrated, but if he has the right coach,
And Mike Vrabel wasn't he a Patriots legend?
yep,
Okay, that's why I didn't know if you said that. I thought you meant
he was a
Steelers. My bad.
Steelers and a Patriots legend.
Yes.
But for everything else, I think the Chargers has a better spot for a good coach. That there's quite a few, probably. I want to say there's not a lot of good coaches out there right now, but Bill Belichick is one of them. If they come out and get Bill Belichick, I mean, I'll honestly be surprised if the Los Angeles Chargers comes out with Bill Belichick. But, and I mean, if anything, I'm just reading this right now. The Chargers also have the number 5 and the 37th overall pick. So we could see Marvin Harrison Jr. and Justin Herbert with Mike Williams and Keenan Allen. So with those three together, please. I mean, it's going to be it's going to be looking good. I think the Chargers is probably one of the best teams. Is going to be the best bet to be a good team next year. But like I said, Antonio Pierce. I hope he's a the head coach for the Raiders because he's been doing an amazing job ever since he got there.
Yes, absolutely. That last win against Denver, I think, also helped. That finished him with a winning record.
Yep.
That's a big thing as well.
But and then you got the Commanders. That team's a rebuilding team. You need to find like a diamond in a rough type coach like Dan Campbell for the Lions. And yes, he did Dan Campbell did suck his first year, but you know what? The Lions organization believed in him, and now look at him.
Yep.
And I do believe that's what the Commanders should do with that type of mentality. So,
Yeah.
but the the Commanders, I about said the other team, even though that's what it still should be. But that's
The Redskins, I'll say the Redskins.
the
It's the
Redskins.
Redskins. HTTR. That's the one back when it had respect. Now we take command.
Yeah, but
Ridiculous.
that team's a whole rebuilding team. And then we got the Seahawks. Even though they missed out the playoffs, they did go 9-8. Pete Carroll has going with a different role. We don't know what role that is just yet. But they do have some young talent in the Seattle Seahawks. And then Falcons really doesn't have that much great talent. You got Bijan Robinson, Drake London, Tyler Algier, whatever his last name is. Aguilar, whatever. And Kyle Pitts, even though Kyle Pitts has been underperforming so much, but I don't understand how he gets the hype every year, and yet he underperforms every year. It is whatever. I already talked about the Las Vegas Raiders, and you got the Tennessee Titans. They're rebuilding. Derrick Henry.
Why.
Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry said his goodbye to the Tennessee Titans fans and the Tennessee Titans organization after that last speech that he had at the last game when they beat the Jacksonville Jaguars. Thank you, Tennessee Titans, for doing that so that we don't have to watch Sunday Night Football to wait and see if we actually got in the playoffs or not. So thank you, Tennessee Titans. But Derrick Henry will possibly be on the free agents list, so it'll be interesting to see where he's gonna go next season. But yeah, and then you got D Hop, and then you have Will Levis, Ryan Tannehill, which I don't know if Ryan Tannehill is going to be back next year or not.
I think so, unless he accepts a backup role.
I don't think he's not going to though. But and then last but not least, the Carolina Panthers. One of the worst.
No, show.
One of the worst records in the league. But with everything else, they should have gotten the number 1 pick. But you know what? The Bears have it. So that kind of screwed everything up for the Carolina Panthers. I don't think no head coach really wants to go to the Carolina Panthers at this point.
No. Someone will take the job because it gives you a chance to be a coach in the league and it gives you millions of dollars. That's why someone will take it. But
I'll take it.
I would.
Screw it.
I mean, yeah,
Screw it. I mean, it would be a horrible record. I mean, with that team
if
and
you want
everything.
to succeed,
But you know what?
don't take it.
I'll sign the money. I'll sign that contract. Carolina, sign me. I got you.
That coach will be fired in 2 years.
Or in 11 games.
Yeah. So yeah, horrible. So yeah,
But I mean, it's it's kind of looking. I forgot about the New England Patriots. Even though I've been talking about Bill Belichick and where he's going to go, and I do believe the New England Patriots is a rebuilding team. They need a quarterback. They need offensive
they
line.
don't have any. They need offense in general. They don't have.
Yeah, they don't have anybody. So and also they need to find a diamond in a rough like Bill Belichick back in the day, decades ago. But I mean, we'll see how this offseason goes.
And that's a big thing because you look, all these teams have one thing in common. You don't fire your coach because things are going well. You fire your coach because things are going poorly. So every coach has their challenges. So we got to accept that. Thing is, how patience ownership. Carolina's a shit show. You look, they don't have a first-round draft pick to trade it for Bryce Young, who looked abysmal. So you add that to the fact that they had the worst record in the league, but now Chicago owns that pick because of that. So there's no first-round pick to get better on. And the owner throws beverages on fans and got fined a chunk of money, which was sad. I'm glad we can revisit that because had it been a player, it would have been much worse than that. So I covered that on Facebook. Go check that out. So with that, not a good job. The owner fired Frank Reich in 11 games. Not a good job. You look, New England, no offensive talent. They have a long way to go. Robert Kraft, stable ownership. I mean, they have a first-round pick. So, I mean, you look. I mean, there's worse places to be. In New England, they have the third pick. So you can get someone good.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, but you look, I think truly the Raiders need to bring back Antonio Pierce. No question about that.
Oh, yeah.
The Commanders, you at least have the second pick. So you have a choice there. You have some opportunity to get better. And you do have Scary Terry at receiver. So you don't have a horrible core to start with if you get a new quarterback. Sam Howell, they're not going to bring him back. They just fired the coach that believed in him. So you look, Washington, they're a mess. The Chargers, though, I think have one thing different than all these teams. They have at least the quarterback correct. Yes, I think Herbert's a little overrated. I think he's the new Tony Romo. But Herbert is much better than what the Commanders or the Raiders or the Seahawks. And I love me some Aiden O'Connell.
And Patriots.
And Patriots and Titans, Will Levis. They just fired their coach for some reason. The coach that drafted him. I think he's a bust anyway. Yeah, more instability for Will Levis. Good luck with that. The Panthers,
Good job.
the Falcons. Yeah, give me Justin Herbert over all of those teams' quarterbacks. So you have something to build off of. I think that's a good spot for Harbaugh from Michigan. I think that's a good spot for Jim Harbaugh. Chargers job.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I'll leave the coaching carousel.
And plus the Chargers has a good spot to branch out and get more talent because they got the number 5 pick and the 37th pick.
Yep.
So I mean, if you're looking at that, I mean,
right. So I mean, you gotta look for draft picks. You need something to build off of, or at least a quarterback to have to build from.
Mm-hmm.
The Chargers have plenty of talent. They just need a better coach. They need better coaching. They need better. It almost seems like culture. They have the talent.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta change the culture. So
and I do believe the front office of the Los Angeles Chargers is one thing that the rest of the teams that doesn't have a coach right now is that they at least have faith in the coach,
right,
and not firing people the first 11 games of the season, or I mean, even though Ron Rivers should have been fired a long time ago.
I mean, but they already fired their defensive coach. Someone has to run the team. Who else do you promote? You see what I'm saying? Someone has to finish the season.
Defensive or the backup or the assistant head or the offense. Who cares? I would have fired him regardless. It's like, all right,
mean, if
offensive
you-
coordinator. Guess what? You're doing 2 jobs.
I mean, the Colts did hire Jeff Saturday to be an interim coach, so I mean, I guess anything's possible.
Exactly. I mean, there's an intern coach. And heck, Joe Thomas even tried to even though he said that he was going to, but you know what? He wanted to later on down the road.
That's true.
So I mean,
But we'll
anybody can
see
be
what-
anybody can be it.
I mean, it's true. I mean, there's plenty of good jobs here. There's plenty of bad jobs. I mean, I also look. The Seahawks had a good record, like you said. The Raiders finished strong. There's good teams on this list that have potential, but yeah, I feel bad for the Panthers.
Mm-hmm. It's going to be a long rebuild team.
Yes. But we will leave the head coaching carousel there. We'll see who gets hired and who starts interviewing and whatnot. So keeping track for that coverage. So, me and JB. Oh, it's almost March. You know how I know that? Because Purdue just lost to Nebraska. We got our ass kicked. We lost 88-72. JB, what are your thoughts on the Boilermakers? We'll make this our shorter subtopic as a tradition as we always do. However, expanding the topics a little bit, we're going to go 2 minutes now. So, JB, give me your thoughts on Purdue. You have 2 minutes. Go. Oh, Purdue.
Well, it's about to be that time. I swear, this is a make it or break it season.
Yes.
I mean, at that game, it just looked horrible. I mean, we played horrible. Like the field goal percentage was horrible, 42.1 or 42% against Nebraska's 50%. 3 points also looked horrendous, 39.4, and with Nebraska's 60%. Free throws even looked horrible. Free throws, they're free points. 73%. Nebraska, 84. I mean, at least probably the one thing that we did good was our total rebounds, but it was by 2.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, assist, they killed us then. Blocks, somehow they got more blocks than us. But turnovers, this is what killed us. Turnovers, 13 turnovers. Are you kidding me? I mean, we played the worst. I mean, it looked like we played the worst basketball that we ever had.
This season we did for sure. I mean, we lost by 16 points. We lost the turnover. Yeah.
I mean, turnover, everything. I mean, Zach had 15 points, 7 rebounds. 7. Like, come on, dude. Like, you're getting beat. It's like, you're the tallest person on the court, and you're getting out rebounded. Come on, fight for the board. Do something. I mean, yes, even though frankly this is probably your second worst game of the season so far, but and if you look at it, it's probably his second worst. And now look, we lost 2 games. So frankly, our offense is around him. Technically, it should be around all of our starting 5, not just one person. It's college, for crying out loud. It's college. Should be all 5, not just one. It's,
You know, I agree with you. It's sad. Matt Painter, here we go again. It's almost March and we're going to start losing. Because we lost by, it's not like we lost by 2 or 3. We lost by 16 points. When you lose the turnover differential, and you only shoot 42.1% from the field, and add on, they shot 60.9% from 3, yeah, of course you lost by 16 points. So Purdue probably won't be number 1 in the nation no more. We've probably blown that, like we always blow everything. And we're 3-2 in the Big Ten Conference right now, so We were undefeated out of conference, first team to do that in a long time. So we started the season really strong, and now we're faltering a little bit, like we always do. And then it's going to get to March Madness, and we're going to lose because
First game.
I hope not. I hope not. I'm want to believe because this team is plenty talented enough to do it. It truly is. It's the most talented team in the nation. It truly is.
We had multiple teams that could win it all. We never do.
I know. And this is a make or break it year for Matt Painter. I am on record early in this podcast history last year when we lost to fire Matt Painter. If it's not different this year, if we don't get to the Final Four, fire his ass. I'm tired of losing. I'm tired of being the team that chokes in the playoffs and gets made fun of. We're the Dallas Cowboys of the college basketball. Here we go again. I'm hopeful. Please change it. I want to win. Or get out. I'm tired.
Yep. I agree.
So, that is all we have for today's Unbiased Hard Take. JB, is there anything you want to talk about? We talked about a lot today.
Well, like I said, like us on Facebook. Subscribe to our YouTube, and our Facebook link will be down into the description down below. Once again, congratulations to both of our teams. We made it to the playoffs. So, congratulations. We were both the underdogs. Like every year. It feels like every year we're always the underdogs.
How's Jordan Love?
Exactly. And, well, Kenny Pickett, he's not starting just yet because Mason Rudolph has the hot hand. So we're going to keep the torch, and we're going to keep that hot hand strong until he screws up, and then Kenny Pickett's coming right in. But yeah, so like us on Facebook, subscribe, hit the bell for the notifications. But that is all I have. What do you got?
So, Packers are the underdog, Steelers the underdog. I'm hoping for both of our teams, even though we're both for our own teams and against each other's. I know we both hope both the underdogs here get the win. So it's gonna be a fun playoffs. As always, check out the Sports Fact of the Day. Me and JB are going with less NFL games happening each week because teams get eliminated and it's playoff time. We're gonna be adding more topics, talking about other sports. So we're doing our research we have. So the NFL's winding down. Time to get ready for March Madness and do all that as well. So like us on Facebook, check everything out. Check our short takes out. That's all I have. Let that go. Boil her up. I know I talk bad. I hope we do it. Boil her up. Let's go eat.
Like he said, go Steelers. Go Purdue. Let's boil up. Let's finish the season strong. March Madness. This is. I hope it is our year. But if Matt Painter screws it up game 1 of the March Madness, I swear he is out of here. But and go Heat. Until next week.
Until next week.
See ya.